The galaxy had always looked at humanity with a mixture of mild amusement and outright dismissal. The myriad councils of alien civilizations collectively agreeing that Earth was a primitive backwater, barely worthy of note, a place where creatures with fragile bodies and simple minds eked out their lives under the yellow star they called Sol. Yet what the galaxy did not understand was that humans thrived under pressure, and their ingenuity was honed to millennia of struggle against their environment and against each other, a crucible that forged adaptability, cunning, and the ability to improvise in ways that no alien species, bound by rigid traditions and technological dogmas, could predict. So when the first reports reached the United Galactic Alliance that humans had completed a new propulsion system capable of traversing vast distances faster than any known hyperdrive, the council members chuckled, dismissing it as a minor anomaly, an exaggeration fueled by human bravado. Yet deep in Earth's orbit, the human scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, pooling knowledge across continents, blending physics with biological insights, quantum mechanics with ancient mathematical patterns, to create not just speed, but efficiency, stealth, and unpredictability. And Captain Jonathan Pierce, a man whose life had been defined by calculated risk and unrelenting perseverance, paced the deck of the flagship Orion as sensors lit up with data streams, reporting not just alien vessels at the edge of the system, but fleets of reconnaissance drones, their purpose to monitor and assess humanity's capabilities, unaware that every observation fed into a simulation designed by humans themselves to predict alien behavior, a meta-strategy so sophisticated that even the alien analysts, with their centuries of experience, could not grasp the depth of human planning. And as Lieutenant Kara Mills calibrated the adaptive defense shields that could reconfigure in milliseconds to counter incoming plasma bursts, the human crew began to feel the tension, the weight of the expectation, and the excitement of knowing that for the first time they held a decisive advantage. For humans were not content with merely surviving a galaxy that had underestimated them. They intended to outmaneuver, outthink, and ultimately redefine the balance of power. And as the alien emissary, a luminescent being of iridescent blue light, named Zelther, approached the negotiation chamber with haughty confidence, expecting compliance and deference, he found instead a delegation of humans calm, collected, and radiating a quiet authority that demanded attention. And the first words spoken were not apologies or pleas for mercy, but a precise articulation of Earth's position, capabilities, and terms for a peaceful coexistence, which the alien mind, accustomed to intimidation and submission, could not process without disbelief. Yet while diplomacy played out, the humans had already set their larger plan into motion, a web of maneuvers spanning multiple star systems, each designed to test the aliens, lure them into overconfidence, and expose weaknesses in their fleet formations. And every scientist, every engineer, every officer was part of the strategy, understanding that the moment of revelation would be swift, decisive, and utterly devastating to those who assumed humanity was weak. And as Admiral Lucas Grant reviewed the tactical holograms displaying alien movements across 3 sectors, he noted the predictable patterns that even the most advanced AI could not mask, and with a subtle adjustment to the Orion's trajectory, a calculated gamble, he positioned the ship to intercept multiple enemy supply lines simultaneously, creating a scenario where human ingenuity would exploit the aliens' reliance on predictable logistics. And in laboratories beneath the surface of Earth, biologists had perfected a series of adaptive nanotechnologies capable of repairing ships in real time, enhancing weapon systems, and even countering alien energy signatures, a marvel of engineering that combined intelligence, creativity, and almost instinctual understanding of the universe's hidden mechanics. And as Captain Pierce transmitted orders to Allied colonies scattered across the Outer Rim, each one synchronized to the microsecond, humans prepared to demonstrate the one thing that no alien species could comprehend fully, that raw technological advancement without creativity, adaptability, and audacious courage was meaningless. And the first skirmishes began not with fanfare, but with precise strikes on minor outposts, testing alien response times and patterns, observing, recording, adapting, and then striking again with greater precision. And every move was a lesson in patience, calculation, and audacity, showing the galaxy that humanity's strength lay not in brute force alone, but in the combination of ingenuity, resilience, and an unshakable will to prevail. And as the alien commanders conferred, believing themselves in control, Human strategists had already anticipated every contingency, every possible countermeasure, every weakness, turning what was assumed to be a simple display of power into a complex, multi-layered campaign where humans dictated the tempo, direction, and outcome, and with every passing day, the realization spread through the alien ranks that these creatures they had dismissed were capable of things that defied logic, that no council decree, no advanced weapon, no centuries of experience could prepare them for the subtle brilliance, relentless determination, and unpredictable tactics that humanity brought to the table. And in the quiet moments aboard the Orion, when the stars streaked past in faster-than-light jumps, Captain Pierce and his crew reflected on a long path that had brought them here, from fragile beginnings on a small blue planet to masters of strategy in a galaxy that had never imagined humans capable of outmaneuvering the most advanced civilizations. And as the first major confrontation loomed on the edge of a binary star system, the humans were ready, calm, precise, and confident, knowing that every decision, every risk, and every act of daring they had taken led to this point, where the underestimated species would prove that intelligence, courage, and unity could outmatch raw power and experience. And in the first exchange of fire, the aliens would learn a harsh truth, that humanity did not fight like any other species, that they adapted, they learned, and they struck with an efficiency and creativity that left the most seasoned alien tacticians scrambling to comprehend the unfolding reality. And from that moment on, the galaxy would never look at humans the same way again, for the long, patient, intricate web of human strategy, ingenuity, and relentless determination had begun to show its effect, revealing weaknesses the aliens had never considered, exposing flaws in their overconfidence, and demonstrating that when pushed, humans did not simply survive. They innovated, outsmarted, and dominated. And in the quiet control room of the Orion, as the first alien vessels began to falter under the human onslaught, Captain Pierce allowed a small, satisfied smile, knowing that the first act in a much larger, galaxy-wide play had begun, a play where humans were the authors, directors, and ultimate victors, and the universe itself would have to reckon with a species it had long underestimated, a species that had learned not just to survive, but to outmaneuver, outthink, and outlast, a species that would redefine the rules of interstellar conflict, strategy, and power forever. And as the stars themselves seemed to witness humanity's rise, the humans moved with quiet confidence, turning each challenge into an opportunity, each threat into a lesson, each confrontation into a demonstration of what the galaxy would soon understand as the unmistakable mark of human supremacy. And as the alien fleets attempted to regroup, adapting to the humans' unpredictable tactics, they found themselves trapped in a network of maneuvers and countermaneuvers that defied their centuries of training, revealing a fundamental truth they had ignored for too long, that humans were not just another species to be cataloged, monitored, or dismissed. They were a force defined by creativity, adaptability, and an unbreakable will. And as the Orion executed a daring jump through a gravitational anomaly to strike deep within enemy territory, the humans had already anticipated the alien response, their strategy unfolding with layers of deception, misdirection, and overwhelming precision, and the galaxy began to watch, stunned, as the species it had mocked displayed a combination of intellect, courage, and innovation that no alien mind could fully comprehend. And the first part of humanity's historic campaign had begun, a campaign that would forever change the perception of a once-dismissed species, demonstrating beyond any doubt that to underestimate humans was to invite one's own ruin. As the Orion and its supporting fleet executed the first wave of precise strikes against the outer alien patrols, the human commanders monitored the cascading effect of their actions across multiple star systems, noting with satisfaction that every maneuver created new opportunities, every feint drew the enemy into predictable traps, and every engagement reinforced a lesson that humans thrived on flexibility and innovation in ways the aliens could not anticipate. And while the alien war, Council convened in panic, struggling to reconcile centuries of experience with the baffling reality of human strategy, the humans had already prepared secondary contingencies, tertiary diversions, and layered countermeasures, all synchronized to microsecond precision, a choreography of war that turned the galaxy itself into a stage for humanity's calculated brilliance. And Lieutenant Kara Mills adjusted the Orion's shielding arrays as reports of alien energy spikes flooded the sensors, the adaptive shields bending, reflecting, and absorbing energy in patterns no alien design could predict. ensuring that human losses remain minimal while maximizing pressure on the enemy. And across allied colonies on the far reaches of human space, scientists monitor the outcomes of autonomous drones and AI-assisted strike units, collecting terabytes of data in real time to refine tactics, test hypotheses, and anticipate alien reactions, all while the Council's emissaries continue to underestimate the humans, assuming that chaos, fear, or surrender would drive their decisions, never realizing that what humans had mastered was not mere technology, but the art of understanding and exploiting behavior, pattern recognition, and psychology. And as Captain Jonathan Pierce convened the senior officers in the command chamber, each of them aware that the stakes of every decision were galactic in scale, they reviewed holographic simulations showing projected alien responses to every conceivable human action, adjusting strategies on the fly, blending intuition with hard data, and anticipating missteps that even the most advanced alien AI would fail to predict. And far from Earth, in the laboratory complexes orbiting Mars, biologists, chemists, and engineers collaborated on adaptive technologies that could repair ships mid-battle, enhance weaponry dynamically, and deploy countermeasures faster than alien sensors could detect, a level of technological improvisation, combined with strategic foresight that no alien civilization had ever encountered. And as the first major alien counteroffensive was launched toward a system humans had designated as a decoy, the Orion, and its fleet executed a perfectly timed slipstream jump, appearing behind the alien vanguard and cutting off retreat routes, isolating units, and forcing the enemy into engagements on human terms, where every advantage favored those who combined intellect, courage, and ingenuity. And as the aliens struggled to respond, frustrated by unpredictability, humans demonstrated that what they lacked in raw physical dominance or sheer fleet size, they made up for in coordination, creativity, and the ability to see multiple moves ahead in a constantly evolving conflict. And Admiral Lucas Grant monitored the unfolding chaos, noting how the alien command structures faltered under pressure, every miscommunication exploited by humans, every hesitation magnified into tactical disaster, a testament to the humans' understanding of not just technology, but the psychology of war. And across the galaxy, observers from neutral civilizations began to record these events with growing astonishment, unable to reconcile the historical assumption that humans were insignificant with the reality of their current performance. And while the aliens attempted to consolidate their scattered forces, humans activated a series of hyper-rapid communication relays, allowing instantaneous coordination across vast distances, executing synchronized strikes that appeared almost simultaneous to alien eyes, overwhelming them not with brute force alone, but with timing, precision, and a mastery of multidimensional strategy. And on Earth, civilians watched transmissions of minor engagements with amazement, unaware of the vast web of strategy being deployed, yet inspired by the notion that their species, long dismissed and underestimated, had become the vanguard of a new galactic reality. And as the Orion sensors detected alien reinforcements entering a dense asteroid field, the human crew adapted instantly, using gravitational anomalies and asteroid masses to mask movements, trap enemy vessels, and deliver precision strikes that disabled critical engines and communications arrays, demonstrating a tactical genius that combined natural intuition with meticulous planning. And Lieutenant Mills observed the alien fleet's attempt to reroute through unexpected coordinates, only to find themselves funneled into zones where human weaponry could strike with maximum effect, proving once again that prediction, anticipation, and adaptability were humanity's greatest weapons. And as Captain Pierce issued further orders to spread misinformation across alien networks, human cyber operations manipulated alien tactical data, creating false impressions, delayed responses, and critical miscalculations. And every deception was carefully timed with kinetic strikes and defensive maneuvers, reinforcing the idea that humans were not merely fighting but orchestrating the entire battlefield as an instrument of psychological and tactical dominance. And as the alien commanders began to realize the depth of human preparation, panic set in, their confidence eroded by a series of setbacks that appeared minor individually but compounded into strategic catastrophe. And across multiple sectors, human fleets continued to advance, exploiting every flaw, every hesitation, and every assumption the aliens had made about their capabilities. And in the corridors of the Orion, Captain Pierce addressed his crew, emphasizing that the mission was not just to survive, but demonstrate that human intellect, courage, and ingenuity could outmaneuver any civilization. and as humans executed a perfectly timed strike against an alien supply convoy near a binary pulsar. The aliens experienced their first true taste of unpredictability and adaptive countermeasures, and as the battle unfolded over multiple systems simultaneously, humans coordinated using strategies that combined centuries of historical military analysis with real-time innovation, creating a network of operations that the aliens could not comprehend. And as Admiral Grant reviewed the outcomes, it became clear that humanity was achieving not just tactical victories, but strategic dominance, reshaping the expectations of interstellar warfare. And as the Orion prepared for the next series of jumps, the humans had established a tempo, an initiative, and an operational rhythm that the aliens could not disrupt, proving once more that the underestimated species of Earth had mastered the art of outmaneuvering the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. And with every successful engagement, every alien misstep exploited, and every calculated risk executed, humans solidified their reputation as a force defined not by size or longevity, but by intelligence, audacity, and the relentless pursuit of victory. And as the first part of the human campaign evolved into the second wave of operations, the galaxy itself seemed to witness a transformation. As the species once dismissed as weak demonstrated that adaptability, coordination, and creativity could redefine the rules of engagement, leaving the aliens to confront the undeniable reality that humanity's rise was not a fleeting anomaly, but a beginning of a new era where the underestimated would triumph over the seemingly invincible. As the Orion and its fleet pressed deeper into contested space, human strategy shifted seamlessly between offense and defense, each maneuver calibrated to exploit the aliens' reliance on predictable formations, while simultaneously testing their response to unconventional tactics. And Captain Jonathan Pierce, aware that the aliens still believed themselves superior, orchestrated a series of feints that drew their fleets into zones where gravity wells, asteroid clusters, and spatial anomalies gave humans an unassailable advantage, and Lieutenant Kara Mills monitored the adaptive shields as they recalibrated in real time to counter energy bursts, particle beams, and plasma torpedoes, ensuring minimal human losses while maximizing alien confusion. And across human-controlled sectors, engineers in orbital shipyards upgraded fleets with modular weaponry that could adapt to alien technology on the fly, integrating quantum computational algorithms with biological sensors to predict and react to enemy maneuvers, a fusion of innovation and improvisation that no alien system could emulate. And as the first major alien flagship attempted to retaliate by breaking through the outer perimeter, human reconnaissance drones, equipped with stealth and speed surpassing anything the aliens had previously encountered, intercepted communications, analyzed tactical intent, and relayed actionable data back to the Orion, allowing humans to anticipate attacks, set ambushes, and trap enemy vessels and crossfires orchestrated across multiple systems. And while the Alien Council struggled to coordinate a coherent counteroffensive, assuming their superior technology would suffice, human officers coordinated synchronized strikes from disparate locations, creating an operational complexity that alien AI could not parse, and every decision, every movement, and every adjustment was informed by a deep understanding of both the enemy's technology and psychology. And as the Orion's crew executed a series of daring hyperspace jumps to flank enemy positions, humans demonstrated an agility that no alien civilization could match, blending speed, stealth, and strategy into a seamless display of tactical brilliance. And in laboratories on Luna, scientists deployed adaptive nanotechnologies that repaired ships mid-battle, enhanced offensive capabilities, and neutralized alien sensors, while biologists engineered biointerfaces that allowed crews to respond intuitively to threats. A synergy of human ingenuity and biological insight that turned every engagement into a masterclass of precision, creativity, and foresight. And as Captain Pierce reviewed the unfolding battles on holographic displays, he noted how the aliens' overconfidence had become their greatest vulnerability, with each failed maneuver, each misjudged response, and each breakdown in communication reinforcing humanity's control of the battlefield. And across multiple star systems, humans executed psychological operations alongside kinetic strikes, feeding misinformation into alien networks, creating false retreats, phantom reinforcements, and deceptive signatures that cause hesitation, misallocation of forces, and catastrophic errors. And as Admiral Lucas Grant monitored these outcomes, He realized that humanity's strategy was not just to defeat the enemy, but to redefine the very nature of interstellar conflict, proving that adaptability, creativity, and relentless coordination outweighed brute technological superiority. And in the midst of this unfolding campaign, human soldiers and pilots displayed courage, ingenuity, and tactical improvisation that left alien commanders stunned, unable to predict human behavior, and forced to acknowledge that the species they had dismissed as primitive was operating on a level of foresight, coordination, and audacity previously thought impossible. And as the Orion maneuvered to intercept a fleet attempting to blockade an outer colony, humans exploited environmental anomalies, electromagnetic fluctuations, and gravitational distortions to neutralize superior alien firepower, demonstrating a mastery in not only technology, but the cosmos itself as a tool of warfare. And across allied systems, humans deployed decoy fleets, advanced cybernetic countermeasures, and autonomous drones that executed missions beyond the reach of alien detection, further compounding confusion and solidifying human strategic advantage. And as the alien fleet suffered losses at an unprecedented rate, their command structures began to fracture, morale plummeted, and the illusion of invincibility that had long defined their dominance evaporated under the weight of human ingenuity. And throughout the Orion, Captain Pierce emphasized to his officers and crew that victory required not just precision, but imagination, anticipating every contingency, exploiting every weakness, and remaining unpredictable. And as multiple human fleets converged to encircle a key alien stronghold, every maneuver was executed with a blend of intuition, data analysis, and real-time adaptation, leaving the enemy scrambling to respond to an opponent whose strategy evolved faster than their own. And as the aliens attempted to regroup, humans deployed orbital mines, stealth drones, and adaptive weaponry in synchronized waves, each layer of attack designed to exploit psychological, technological, and tactical vulnerabilities. And as the first flagship of the alien vanguard fell under concentrated human assault, news rippled across the galaxy that a species long underestimated had revealed not only competence but brilliance. And in the corridors of the Orion, Captain Pierce reflected on the meticulous planning, the countless simulations, and the relentless drive that had brought humanity to this point, understanding that every human, from engineer to pilot, from scientist to soldier, had contributed to a campaign that was changing the rules of engagement across the stars. And as humans prepared for the next phase, advancing into the heart of the alien coalition, the galaxy itself began to recognize a new reality, that humans did not merely respond to threats. They anticipated, adapted, and outmaneuvered, and with each successive engagement, every alien misstep magnified by human strategy. The species once dismissed as weak was proving that intelligence, creativity, and courage could overcome centuries of technological superiority. And as the Orion accelerated into hyperspace for the next strike, Captain Pierce and his officers knew that the initial victories were only the beginning, the first demonstration of humanity's ability to dominate not through sheer size, but through ingenuity, adaptability, and an unrelenting will to win. And across the galaxy, civilizations took note, recording, analyzing, and, in some cases, trembling at the realization that a new power had emerged, a species that could outthink, outmaneuver, and ultimately redefine what it meant to be dominant in a universe that had long underestimated them. And as the humans continued their relentless campaign, the aliens began to grasp a truth that had been invisible until now, that to challenge humanity was to play a game with no predictable rules, against opponents who combined logic, instinct, and creativity into a force capable of defeating even the most advanced civilizations. And as the Orion led a coordinated strike into the next sector, the humans moved with confidence, precision, and a level of foresight that ensured the enemy would never regain the initiative, marking the continuation of a campaign that would forever alter the balance of power in the galaxy and cement humanity's place as a species that could outmaneuver, outthink, and outlast every foe it faced. As the humans pressed deeper into contested star systems, every decision made aboard the Orion and its allied fleet reflected decades of accumulated experience, tactical simulations, and improvisational thinking honed through centuries of overcoming adversity. And Captain Jonathan Pierce understood that the alien coalition, confident in its centuries of dominance, had never encountered a species capable of adapting so fluidly to rapidly changing battlefield conditions. And as Lieutenant Kara Mills recalibrated the adaptive shields to counter a barrage of energy pulses from multiple alien warships. The crew watched in quiet awe as defensive matrices responded in milliseconds, bending, absorbing, and redirecting energy in patterns no alien technology could anticipate, while at orbital research facilities across the solar system, teams of scientists deployed autonomous drones capable of analyzing enemy formations in real time, simulating multiple outcomes and transmitting actionable strategies faster than alien command networks could process, effectively turning the battlefield into a living intelligence network controlled by human ingenuity. And as the alien fleet attempted to regroup and counterattack, near a dense nebula, humans exploited gravitational turbulence, ionized particle clouds, and radiation spikes to mask fleet movements, set ambush points, and strike with precision from multiple angles simultaneously, demonstrating a level of spatial awareness and tactical creativity that completely disrupted alien assumptions about interstellar combat. And while the alien council debated increasingly desperate maneuvers, human fleets executed multi-layered strategies that combined psychological warfare, electronic deception, and coordinated kinetic assaults, leaving the enemy vulnerable to precisely timed attacks. And across the Orion, Captain Pierce reviewed the intricate web of human operations with Admiral Lucas Grant, noting how predictive models based on alien psychology, previous engagements, and environmental variables allowed humans to anticipate not only the enemy's technological moves, but also their emotional responses to stress, fear, and overconfidence. And as human strike teams executed surgical hits against command vessels, supply convoys, and remote sensor arrays, the aliens realized too late that their reliance on rigid hierarchy, standardized procedures, and untested assumptions had become their greatest weakness. And in orbital shipyards around Mars and the Moon, engineers continue to upgrade human ships with modular weapons, advanced energy dampeners, and real-time repair systems, blending biological feedback, quantum computing, and adaptive AI to create a fleet that could not only survive alien firepower, but exploit it against them. And as Captain Pierce transmitted strategic updates to disperse human colonies, each unit adjusted movements autonomously, synchronized with the fleet, and executed contingency operations without hesitation, creating a level of operational complexity that left alien commanders scrambling to respond to threats appearing simultaneously across multiple vectors. And as the Orion approached an uncharted system that humans had designated for a decisive strike, the alien vanguard attempted to blockade entry points, only to encounter preset ambushes, decoy signals, and coordinated hyperspace jumps that funneled their ships into kill zones while human forces struck from unexpected directions, revealing a depth of planning, foresight, and adaptability that no alien technology could counter. And across the galaxy, neutral observers recorded the sequence of events with disbelief, noting that humans, long dismissed as technologically inferior, were executing a campaign of unmatched sophistication, combining improvisation, strategy, and psychological insight into a coordinated, overwhelming force. And as Lieutenant Mills monitored the alien fleet's attempts to respond, she observed a pattern of confusion, hesitation, and miscommunication that human planners had anticipated, demonstrating once again that understanding one's opponent, predicting their behavior, and shaping the battlefield to favor one's own strengths were the true keys to victory. And while the Alien Council argued, proposing conventional counterattacks, humans continued to exploit every error, every predictable reaction, and every gap in alien coordination, orchestrating simultaneous strikes across multiple sectors that crippled infrastructure, diverted reinforcements, and forced the aliens into reactive positions. And as the Orion executed a daring jump through a densely populated asteroid field, human forces neutralized a vanguard fleet, repaired their own ships mid-battle using adaptive nanotechnology, and deployed countermeasures that left alien sensors blind to human maneuvers, creating the appearance of omnipresent, invincible forces. And across the fleet, every captain, officer, and soldier understood the stakes, operating with precision, intuition, and creativity in perfect unison, a living testament to human ingenuity and resilience. And as the aliens attempted to consolidate a retreat through hyperspace corridors, human intelligence teams had already predicted the exact coordinates, deploying ambushes, decoys, and electronic countermeasures that cut off escape, isolated units, and forced surrender or destruction, proving beyond doubt that humans did not fight conventionally. They controlled the battlefield, dictated tempo, and orchestrated outcomes. And as Captain Pierce addresses officers, he emphasized that victory required not just technology or firepower, but adaptability, imagination, and relentless determination. And as the Orion and Allied fleets continued their relentless campaign, humans systematically dismantled alien formations, exploited weaknesses in both hardware and psychology, and transformed every encounter into a demonstration of how strategy, creativity, and unity could outmatch superior technology and centuries of experience. And in the wake of every successful engagement, alien commanders began to understand a harsh reality. The species they had dismissed as primitive had not only survived, but outmaneuvered, outsmarted, and outpaced them at every turn. And as human forces prepared for the next phase of the campaign, entering the core sectors of the alien coalition, the galaxy witnessed a species that combined intellect, courage, and audacious strategy into an unstoppable force, redefining the very nature of interstellar conflict. And as Orion sensors detected the largest alien fleet yet, humans adapted instantly, deploying decoys, using environmental anomalies, and coordinating attacks with synchronized precision, ensuring that every engagement favored human tactics, exploited alien vulnerabilities, and reinforced the overwhelming realization that humanity had not only become a dominant force, but had mastered the art of outmaneuvering the most advanced civilizations in the universe. And with every strike, every strategic decision, and every calculated risk, humans proved that adaptability, foresight, and unity could overcome even the most formidable opponents. And as the Orion led a coordinated assault into the alien heartland, Captain Pierce and his officers knew that the outcome of this campaign would forever alter the balance of power in the galaxy, cementing humanity's reputation as a species capable of outthinking, outmaneuvering, and ultimately triumphing over civilizations that had long believed themselves invincible. And as the stars themselves seemed to bear witness, humans continued their relentless advance, demonstrating that underestimated intelligence and audacity could overcome all obstacles, and that the underestimated species of Earth had become a force no galaxy could ignore. As the Orion and the allied human fleet pushed further into the alien core systems, the complexity and scale of human operations reached unprecedented levels, with multiple task forces executing synchronized strikes, feints, and diversionary tactics that spread the alien command structures to breaking point. And Captain Jonathan Pierce monitored real-time telemetry, adaptive shield performance, and hypernavigation data streams, as Lieutenant Kara Mills coordinated defensive and offensive measures, ensuring that human ships moved with precision, anticipation, and a level of unpredictability that left alien tacticians scrambling to respond. While on Earth and in orbital research facilities, engineers and scientists continued refining adaptive technologies, from quantum computing overlays that predicted enemy maneuvers before they occurred, to nanotech repair systems that allowed ships to recover from catastrophic damage mid-battle. And as humans deployed advanced stealth units, through gravitational anomalies, ionized particle fields, and asteroid clusters, alien fleets found themselves repeatedly ambushed, outflanked, and forced into engagements on human terms, revealing weaknesses in their rigid protocols, reliance on predictable formations, and overconfidence in superior technology. And as the Alien Council convened in panic, debating desperate countermeasures and recalling scattered fleets, humans executed pre-planned multi-vector operations, exploiting communication delays, misinterpretations, and psychological pressure to isolate and neutralize the most critical enemy assets, while simultaneously feeding misinformation and phantom signals that cause additional confusion and hesitation. And across the galaxy, neutral observers recorded each engagement with disbelief, noting that humanity, a species once dismissed as primitive, had orchestrated a campaign of unmatched sophistication, blending tactical brilliance, psychological insight, and real-time innovation into a coordinated offensive that continually adapted to changing circumstances. And as human forces engaged the largest alien battle group yet assembled, the Orion and supporting vessels used environmental features, gravitational anomalies, and hyperspace shortcuts to strike simultaneously from multiple directions, neutralizing alien energy arrays, disabling command systems, and fragmenting enemy formations, while decoy fleets, electronic countermeasures, and adaptive weaponry created the impression of omnipresent forces, leaving alien commanders paralyzed by uncertainty, hesitation, and fear. And as Captain Pierce issued orders for further maneuvers, every human officer, pilot, and engineer executed their role with near-perfect coordination improvisation, and foresight, demonstrating that humans did not merely fight battles. They orchestrated entire theaters of conflict with a level of sophistication, adaptability, and audacity that no alien civilization could counter. And as the alien fleets attempted to regroup and retreat through interstellar corridors, humans anticipated their routes, deployed ambushes, blocked escape paths, and forced isolated units into surrender or destruction, proving once more that the underestimated species of Earth had mastered the art of controlling the battlefield and dictating the pace and outcome of engagements, and in orbital command centers. Admiral Lucas Grant analyzed the unfolding campaign, noting how humans leveraged both technology and psychology, turning predictable alien instincts over confidence and adherence to protocol into catastrophic vulnerabilities, while across allied colonies, engineers, biologists, and strategists continued refining adaptive systems that allowed the fleet to anticipate, respond, and exploit in real time, creating an operational synergy that no alien AI or command structure could match. And as Orion prepared to penetrate the heart of the alien coalition's central command sector, humans executed a series of hyperspace jumps that confounded enemy sensors, bypassed heavily defended choke points, and delivered precise strikes against the most vital alien vessels and infrastructure, a display of tactical and strategic mastery that left alien leaders stunned, disoriented, and unable to respond coherently. And as the battle unfolded, human crews demonstrated ingenuity and improvisation, courage in execution, and coordination on a scale that proved the true strength of the species was not simply technology or numbers, but the combination of intellect, adaptability, and relentless determination. And as alien morale collapsed under the relentless pressure of human operations, the Orion and its fleet capitalized on every weakness, every hesitation, and every flaw, turning the alien superior numbers and firepower into liabilities that further reinforced human dominance. And as Captain Pierce reviewed the results of these engagements, he understood that each tactical victory was a stepping stone toward a larger objective, to demonstrate beyond any doubt that humanity, long underestimated, was capable of outmaneuvering, outthinking, and outlasting the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. And as humans deployed additional stealth fleets, decoy convoys, and adaptive countermeasures, the alien coalition struggled to comprehend the scale, precision, and unpredictability of human strategy, ultimately realizing that no single action, tactic, or technological advantage could counter a species that combined creativity, foresight, and audacious risk-taking into a cohesive, unstoppable force. And as the Orion moved to intercept reinforcements attempting to support the alien command hub, humans utilized hyperspace corridors, gravitational anomalies, and electronic interference to isolate, disable, and destroy enemy units systematically, further reinforcing the impression that humans were everywhere at once, omnipresent in effect, unpredictable in method, and lethal in execution. And across multiple sectors, human operations displayed a level of integration between strategy, technology, and human initiative that shattered alien assumptions about warfare, control, and interstellar dominance. And as Captain Pierce and his officers prepared for final maneuvers to encircle the alien heart, the galaxy watched a species once dismissed as insignificant demonstrate that intelligence, adaptability, courage, and relentless coordination could overcome superior numbers, advanced technology, and centuries of assumed invincibility, proving that humanity was no longer a minor player but a defining force capable of outmaneuvering, outthinking, and ultimately dictating the outcomes of galactic conflict. And as the Orion led the coordinated strike into the final defensive perimeter, humans executed each movement with precision, foresight, and creativity, leaving alien forces unable to respond effectively. And as the dust settled, every fleet, every pilot, and every strategist understood that the underestimated species of Earth had rewritten the rules of engagement, established dominance not through brute strength but through ingenuity, coordination, and audacity, and that the galaxy would never again view humans as anything less than a force capable of outmaneuvering the most advanced civilizations, turning perception, fear, and respect into the undeniable reality of human supremacy. As the Orion and the human fleet pressed relentlessly into the core of the alien coalition, every human action became a demonstration of coordination, innovation, and adaptability, with multi-tiered strategies executed across hundreds of star systems simultaneously, and Captain Jonathan Pierce oversaw the complex interplay of fleet movements, adaptive shield calibrations, and real-time intelligence feeds, while Lieutenant Kara Mills ensured that every energy pulse, weapon discharge, and defensive maneuver was optimized for maximum effect against the alien vanguard. And on Earth, orbital research stations continue to refine nanotechnologies, autonomous repair systems, and predictive quantum algorithms that allowed ships to operate at peak efficiency while improvising responses to previously unencountered threats, creating an operational flexibility that alien commanders could neither anticipate nor counter. And as humans deployed stealth reconnaissance units through asteroid belts, radiation fields, and gravitational anomalies, they gathered critical data on alien fleet dispositions, logistical pathways, and tactical doctrines, using it to execute feints, ambushes, and decisive strikes that destabilized enemy formations, disrupted communications, and forced the aliens into reactive positions, while cross-human colonies scattered through outer sectors. Engineers and cyber specialists implemented a web of adaptive sensors, electronic warfare arrays, and data infiltration nodes that sowed misinformation, created phantom threats, and delayed alien decision-making, ensuring that every movement, every deployment, and every engagement worked in humanity's favor. And as the first major alien fleet attempted to form a defensive perimeter around the Central Command hub, human strike teams, exploiting hyperspace shortcuts, environmental anomalies, and gravitational distortions, struck from unexpected vectors, neutralizing energy shields, disabling propulsion systems, and isolating critical vessels in coordinated kill zones, demonstrating a mastery of both physics and tactics that the aliens had never encountered. And while the Alien Council attempted to issue counterorders, human forces executed perfectly timed feints and decoy maneuvers that caused confusion, delayed responses, and catastrophic errors, magnifying the effectiveness of each strike. And across the Orion, Captain Pierce and Admiral Lucas Grant coordinated multiple task forces, ensuring that every contingency, fallback, and adaptive maneuver was prepared in advance, blending predictive analytics, human intuition, and real-time observation to create a fluid, dynamic operational network that controlled the tempo and direction of the entire campaign. And as human fleets penetrated the heart of the alien coalition, decoy convoys, stealth units, and adaptive weapon systems created the illusion of omnipresence, further eroding alien morale and reinforcing the perception that humans were everywhere at once, dictating the flow of battle. And as the aliens attempted to consolidate scattered forces, human cyber operations manipulated enemy communications, data relays, and sensor readings to create phantom formations, false retreats, and deceptive supply lines, forcing alien commanders into reactive positions where every decision played into human strategy. And as the Orion executed a daring hyperspace jump to flank the Central Command Station, humans coordinated orbital strikes, decoy engagements, and long-range bombardments, isolating key targets, and systematically dismantling command, control, and communications infrastructure, demonstrating that humans did not merely fight. They orchestrated entire theaters of war with precision, foresight, and creativity, and across multiple sectors, human operations combined kinetic force, psychological manipulation, and technological innovation to create a battlefield where aliens were forced into chaos, hesitation, and eventual collapse, while every human captain, pilot, and engineer acted in perfect synchronization, improvising when necessary and exploiting every advantage, proving that the real power of humanity lay not in technology alone, but in adaptability, coordination, and relentless ingenuity. And as the alien coalition's defensive fleets began to falter under the weight of human strategy, morale plummeted, command structures fractured, and illusion of invincibility disintegrated under a barrage of precisely executed strikes, feints, and strategic maneuvers. And in the corridors of the Orion, Captain Pierce emphasized that the objective was not merely to destroy enemy ships, but to demonstrate, with undeniable clarity, that humans had mastered the art of outmaneuvering, outthinking, and outlasting civilizations that had long considered themselves superior. And as the Orion led a coordinated strike into the final defensive rings, humans utilized gravitational anomalies, hyperspace shortcuts, adaptive weaponry, and synchronized fleet actions to neutralize alien firepower, isolate command vessels, and render reinforcements ineffective. And across the galaxy, neutral observers recorded with disbelief the systematic dismantling of civilization previously considered invincible, noting that humans combined ingenuity, audacity, coordination, and relentless adaptation into a campaign that defied expectations, reshaped strategic doctrines, and established a new paradigm for interstellar conflict. And as Orion and supporting human fleets pressed into the central hubs of alien infrastructure, humans exploited every environmental variable, every technological quirk, and every psychological vulnerability, turning each alien assumption, protocol, and advantage against them, while alien commanders struggled to comprehend the fluidity, precision, and unpredictability of human operations. And as Captain Pierce transmitted final coordination orders for the decisive engagement, every human unit moved with seamless precision, improvising in real time while maintaining perfect alignment with the overarching strategy, demonstrating that humans were not merely fighting battles. They were controlling the entire theater, dictating tempo, shaping the battlefield, and overwhelming an enemy that had long believed itself unbeatable. And as the Orion prepared for climactic phase, deploying decoys, stealth units, adaptive, shields, and synchronized strike teams, the galaxy witnessed humanity's full mastery of strategy, technology, and audacity, proving that the underestimated species of Earth had become a force capable of outmaneuvering, outthinking, and ultimately overpowering even the most advanced civilizations. And as alien fleets faltered under the relentless, adaptive, and ingenious human onslaught, the realization spread across the galaxy that humans were no longer a minor species to be dismissed, but a defining power that had rewritten the rules of interstellar warfare, establishing a level of dominance, ingenuity, and strategic brilliance that would be remembered for centuries to come. And as the Orion led the coordinated strike into the heart of the alien command sector, every human action, every maneuver, every adaptive response reinforced the undeniable truth that humanity had achieved what no civilization before had managed. It had outmaneuvered the most advanced civilizations in the universe, transforming itself from an underestimated species into the architects of galactic supremacy. And the stage was set for final revelations, decisive engagements, and ultimate proof that humans were capable of rewriting the destiny of the stars. As the Orion and the human fleet advanced into the inner sectors of the alien coalition, the scale and sophistication of human operations reached a level that completely overwhelmed the enemy, with multiple fleets executing perfectly timed maneuvers, coordinated strikes, and adaptive feints that exploited every weakness in alien strategy, while Captain Jonathan Pierce oversaw the flow of information, monitoring hyperspace relays, energy signatures, and fleet positions in real time, and Lieutenant Kara Mills ensured that shields, weapon systems, and navigation rays continuously adjusted to dynamic battlefield conditions, absorbing, deflecting, and redirecting attacks in patterns no alien technology could predict. And across Earth, Luna, Mars, and orbital stations, scientists and engineers continued enhancing nanotechnologies, predictive algorithms, and autonomous repair units, creating a fleet that not only responded instantaneously to threats, but could anticipate and counter alien strategies before they were executed. And as stealth reconnaissance teams infiltrated asteroid fields, radiation belts, and gravitational anomalies, human intelligence gathered precise data on alien fleet composition, tactical tendencies, and command structures, feeding back into an intricate web of adaptive operations that manipulated, deceived, and overpowered enemy forces simultaneously across multiple star systems. And as the Alien Council convened in desperation, attempting to consolidate forces, issue orders, and coordinate reinforcements, humans executed pre-planned maneuvers that exploited communication delays, environmental hazards, and psychological pressure, forcing alien commanders into reactive positions where every decision, hesitation, or misstep amplified their losses. And as Orion led a flanking maneuver through a dense nebula, human ships emerged from stealth vectors, striking isolated command vessels and cutting off supply lines, while decoy fleets and phantom signatures created the illusion of omnipresence, leaving alien fleets disoriented, divided, and unable to respond coherently. And across the human fleet, every officer, pilot, and engineer executed actions with flawless coordination, improvising where necessary, but always in alignment with the overarching strategy, demonstrating that human strength lay not merely in technology, but in adaptability, creativity, and relentless execution. As alien flagship after flagship fell to precisely coordinated strikes, morale collapsed, command structures fractured, and the illusion of invincibility crumbled under the weight of human ingenuity. while across Allied sectors, cyber operations injected misinformation into alien networks, created false threat vectors, and simulated phantom reinforcements, further compounding confusion and amplifying the effectiveness of human kinetic and electronic assaults. And as Captain Pierce prepared for the decisive engagement against the central alien command hub, humans executed hyperspace jumps, gravitational maneuvers, and synchronized strikes that left the enemy vulnerable, isolated, and incapable of counteraction, demonstrating a level of strategic foresight and operational mastery that no alien civilization had ever encountered. And as Orion and supporting fleets penetrated the final defensive rings, humans utilized environmental anomalies, stealth units, adaptive weaponry, and real-time tactical recalibration to neutralize energy arrays, disrupt communication, and destroy critical assets, while simultaneously coordinating decoy engagements that misled alien forces into traps. And as the aliens attempted to regroup or escape, humans anticipated every movement, countered every maneuver, and exploited every psychological and technological vulnerability, proving once again that intelligence, coordination, and adaptability could surpass raw technological power. And across multiple star systems, the systematic dismantling of alien formations demonstrated the precision, audacity, and ingenuity of humanity, as each strike, feint, and maneuver compounded confusion, isolated command, and disrupted logistics. And in the corridors of the Orion, Captain Pierce reminded his officers that every action reinforced the larger objective, to show the galaxy that humans had mastered the art of war on an interstellar scale, using strategy, foresight, and creativity to outmaneuver, outthink, and dominate civilizations that had long considered themselves superior. And as the Orion executed a final series of hyperspace jumps into the heart of the alien command sector, humans deployed decoys, electronic countermeasures, and synchronized strike teams to isolate, disable, and destroy key vessels and infrastructure, a calculated orchestration that left alien fleets unable to respond, regroup, or defend effectively, while adaptive nanotechnology and real-time repair systems ensured human ships maintained operational superiority. And as the final engagements unfolded, every human officer, pilot, and strategist demonstrated audacity, creativity, and precision, turning every environmental feature, technological anomaly, and enemy misstep into an advantage. And as alien morale disintegrated under relentless pressure, humans exploited the collapse of command structures, confusion, and fear to secure decisive victories across multiple sectors simultaneously. And across the galaxy, observers, analysts, and even neutral civilizations recognized the unprecedented brilliance of human operations, noting that what had begun as a campaign of survival and assertion had transformed into a demonstration of strategic genius, adaptive mastery, and operational dominance, proving that humans could outmaneuver the most advanced civilizations, dictate the flow of battle, and impose their will on forces that had long assumed superiority. And as Captain Pierce and Admiral Lucas Grant coordinated the final moves of the Orion and Allied fleets, humans achieved a level of synchronization, foresight, and operational excellence that confirmed their status as a species capable of redefining interstellar warfare, demonstrating that intelligence, ingenuity, coordination, and relentless adaptability were the true measures of power. And as the Orion led the final strikes into the Central Command hub, neutralized reinforcements, and dismantled critical infrastructure, humans solidified their position as an unstoppable force, rewriting the rules of engagement, forcing the galaxy to acknowledge that the underestimated species of Earth had not only survived but outmaneuvered, outsmarted, and outperformed the most advanced civilizations. And as the dust settled over the alien heartland, the full scope of human brilliance, courage, and strategic mastery became undeniable, establishing a new era in which humanity would no longer be overlooked, underestimated, or dismissed, but recognized as a defining force capable of shaping the destiny of the stars. And with every victory, every tactical innovation, and every flawlessly executed maneuver, the galaxy witnessed a species that had transformed adversity, creativity, and audacity into a dominance that no civilization, regardless of age, technology, or experience, could match, proving that humans had mastered the art of outmaneuvering the universe itself. As the Orion and the human fleet completed the final push into the alien heart of the coalition, the scale of human operations reached a level of precision, coordination, and ingenuity that left the alien commanders in total disarray, with every fleet movement, hyperspace jump, adaptive shield adjustment, and weapon deployment executed with exacting timing to exploit weaknesses, environmental anomalies, and psychological pressure, while Captain Jonathan Pierce coordinated the flow of information across hundreds of ships, ensuring that every strike, feint, and maneuver aligned perfectly with the overarching strategy, and Lieutenant Kara Mills monitored real-time energy fluctuations, shield integrity, and navigation systems, recalibrating in milliseconds to respond to threats no alien technology could predict, and across orbital stations and planetary bases, human scientists, engineers, and strategists refined nanotechnology repairs, predictive algorithms, and autonomous systems that allowed ships to recover from devastating damage, adapt weapons on the fly, and counter alien maneuvers before they were executed, creating an operational flexibility and battlefield awareness unparalleled in the galaxy, and as stealth reconnaissance units infiltrated asteroid clusters, radiation fields, and gravitational distortions. Humans gathered critical intelligence on alien fleet dispositions, supply lines, and command hierarchies, feeding data into the central operational network to orchestrate multi-vector strikes, ambushes, and decoy maneuvers that left alien forces disoriented, divided, and incapable of mounting an effective defense. And while the Alien Council attempted desperate coordination and rapid redeployment, humans executed contingency plans that anticipated every reaction, turning communication delays, overconfidence, and predictable instincts into vulnerabilities that were exploited with ruthless efficiency. And as Orion led a coordinated strike through the densest portions of the alien defensive rings, human ships emerged from stealth, striking isolated command vessels, severing supply lines, and dismantling critical infrastructure with precision, while decoy fleets and phantom signals created the illusion of omnipresence, leaving the alien fleets paralyzed with uncertainty and fear. And across every human vessel, officers, pilots, and engineers acted with seamless synchronization, improvising intelligently while maintaining alignment, with the overarching strategy demonstrating that human strength lay not in raw power alone, but in creativity, adaptability, and relentless execution. As alien flagship after flagship fell to coordinated human strikes, morale collapsed, command chains fractured, and the centuries-long illusion of invincibility disintegrated under the weight of human brilliance, while across allied sectors, cyber operations disrupted alien networks, injected misinformation, and simulated phantom forces, further amplifying the effectiveness of kinetic and electronic attacks. And as the Orion prepared for climactic confrontation with the Central Command Hub, humans executed hyperspace jumps, gravity-assisted flanking maneuvers, and synchronized multi-pronged strikes that isolated critical assets, neutralized offensive arrays, and dismantled command systems, demonstrating a level of strategic mastery and operational ingenuity no civilization had ever encountered. And as the final engagements unfolded, human officers, pilots, and strategists displayed audacity, precision, and creativity, turning every environmental feature, technological anomaly, and enemy miscalculation into an advantage, while alien fleets, unable to adapt to fluidity, unpredictability, and ingenuity of human operations, suffered total defeat. And across multiple sectors, humans systematically dismantled remaining alien formations, exploited psychological and technological vulnerabilities, and established operational dominance, proving that intelligence, coordination, and adaptability surpassed even the most advanced technology and centuries of experience. And in the corridors of the Orion, Captain Pierce emphasized that every strike, maneuver, and adaptive response reinforced a larger objective: to demonstrate conclusively that humanity had mastered the art of outmaneuvering civilizations that had long considered themselves superior. And as humans deployed decoy fleets, electronic countermeasures, and adaptive weaponry to neutralize any remaining threats, the galaxy witnessed the unparalleled effectiveness of human operations, where strategy, foresight, and creativity determined outcomes far beyond raw firepower. And as alien fleets attempted to regroup or retreat, humans anticipated every action, countered every maneuver, and exploited every error, demonstrating that the underestimated species of Earth had transformed adversity, ingenuity, and audacity into unstoppable dominance. And as Orion led the final strikes into the alien Central Command Hub, human forces neutralized reinforcements, dismantled defensive structures, and secured control of critical systems, achieving decisive victory across all sectors, while alien morale, shattered and broken, confirmed the final reality. Humanity was no longer underestimated, no longer dismissed, and no longer constrained by the limitations imposed by centuries of alien assumptions. And across the galaxy, observers recorded a species that had risen from perceived insignificance to mastery, combining intellect, adaptability, courage, and relentless execution into a force capable of outmaneuvering, outthinking, and outlasting even the most advanced civilizations. And as the dust settled over the alien heartland, the full scope of human brilliance, coordination, and strategic mastery became undeniable, establishing a new era in which humanity would dictate the terms of interstellar engagement, redefine the rules of war, and command respect across every star system. And with the Orion at the forefront of a victorious fleet, humans demonstrated that the underestimated species of Earth had not only survived but triumphed, reshaping the galaxy, proving that ingenuity, adaptability, and unyielding determination were the ultimate measures of power, and that from this moment forward, the universe would recognize that to challenge humanity was to face a force capable of mastering strategy, technology, and audacity on a scale previously unimaginable, forever cementing the legacy of humans as the species that outmaneuvered the universe's most advanced civilizations.